You know exactly what you should do. You should train today. You should sleep 8 hours. You should eat with intention. You should finish the last set. You know all of this, and sometimes you do none of it. Not because you lack knowledge, because you lack the one skill that makes every other skill possible. Epictetus, a man with zero control over his circumstances, had absolute control over his responses, and he built that control through a philosophy so precise and so practical that it will change how you train starting today. 5 minutes. Let us go. Epictetus wrote, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Master of himself, not master of his circumstances, not master of his results. Master of himself, his impulses, his reactions, his choices. Self-control is the master skill of athletic training, not strength, not endurance, not technical proficiency, not nutritional knowledge. Self-control, because every other training skill depends on it completely. Strength requires the self-control to train consistently over months and years. Without self-control, strength training becomes sporadic, impressive when motivated and absent when not. Nutrition knowledge is useless without the self-control to apply it when comfort food is available and stress is high and sleep deprivation is weakening your decision-making capacity. Recovery protocols are meaningless without the self-control to prioritize sleep over screen time, to choose rest over stimulation, to protect your recovery from the endless competing demands for your night hours. Technical proficiency requires the self-control to practice correct form at manageable weights before ego demands heavier loads. Every training skill you have ever tried to develop has been limited not by your knowledge of that skill, but by your self-control in applying it. For the Stoic athlete, developing self-control is not one priority among many. It is the foundation that every other priority is built on. Build the foundation first. Everything else follows. Epictetus organized his entire philosophy around 3 disciplines. For the Stoic athlete, each one maps directly onto a specific domain of self-control, the discipline of desire, controlling what you want. The impulsive athlete wants results immediately, wants training to feel good always, wants progress without plateaus. The disciplined athlete wants the process, wants the daily practice, wants the compound development that only patience and consistency can produce. Train your desires before you train your body. Want the right things. The session itself, not the shortcut to its results. The discipline of action. Controlling what you do. The impulsive athlete acts on feeling. Trains when motivated, skips when not. Eats well when disciplined, collapses when stressed. The disciplined athlete acts on decision. The decision was made once. To train consistently, to eat intentionally, to recover deliberately. The feeling is irrelevant to the execution. Decide once. Execute always. Remove feeling from the equation entirely. The discipline of assent. Controlling what you agree with. The impulsive athlete agrees with every excuse their mind generates. Too tired, agreed. Too busy, agreed. Not feeling it today, agreed. The disciplined athlete examines every impression before assenting to it. Too tired, examined and rejected. Too busy, examined and redirected. Not feeling it, examined irrelevant to the decision. Examine everything. Agree only with what serves your development. These three disciplines practiced daily build the self-control that makes every other training skill finally possible. Epictetus wrote, "Make the best use of what is in your power and take the rest as it happens." What is in your power? Your choices, every single one of them. And here is the insight that changes everything about how you approach your training. Your training is not just a place to build physical capacity. It is the most reliable laboratory for building self-control available to any human being. Every moment in training where you want to stop and choose to continue, that is a self-control. Repetition. Every meal choice made in favor of your training over your impulse. Self-control repetition. Every early morning alarm answered, despite every reason to snooze. Self-control repetition. These repetitions compound, exactly the way physical training repetitions compound. Slowly at first, imperceptibly. Then, suddenly and dramatically, the athlete who has made 10,000 self-control choices in their training, in the small daily moments that nobody sees, has built a self-control capacity that operates automatically in the moments that matter most. Epictetus built his extraordinary self-control not through one dramatic act of willpower, but through thousands of small daily choices to respond with reason rather than impulse. For the Stoic athlete, treat every training decision as a self-control training opportunity. The choice to begin when you do not want to, self-control rep. The choice to finish when you want to stop, self-control rep. The choice to use the honest weight, self-control rep. The choice to train in silence, self-control rep. The choice to sleep instead of scroll, self-control rep. Every choice, every day. Building the master skill that makes all others possible. Epictetus wrote the most paradoxical sentence in the history of freedom philosophy. He said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Epictetus was a slave. He was the least externally free human being in Roman society. And he was completely free because he had mastered himself, his impulses, his reactions, his desires, his choices. And here is the paradox that every athlete who builds genuine self-control eventually discovers. Discipline is not the opposite of freedom. It is the source of it. The athlete, without self-control, is not free. They are enslaved to their impulses, to the impulse to skip training when unmotivated, to the impulse to overeat when stressed, to the impulse to quit when hard, to the impulse to compare when insecure. Every unexamined impulse is a chain, and the athlete who acts on unexamined impulses is as enslaved to those impulses as Epictetus was enslaved to his master. The athlete with self-control is genuinely free. free to train regardless of motivation, free to eat regardless of impulse, free to continue regardless of discomfort, free to pursue their development regardless of every circumstance that recommends otherwise. Epictetus was in chains and completely free. Build your self-control. Break your chains. The chains of impulse are the only ones that were ever really holding you. Epictetus was a slave with absolute self-control, and he was the most free man in Rome. Here are his 4 principles of self-control for the Stoic athlete. 1. Self-control is the master skill. Every other training skill depends on it completely. Build the foundation first. 2. Train the 3 disciplines. Desire. Want the process, not the shortcut. Action. Decide once, execute always. Assent. Examine everything, agree only with what serves you. 3. Every training decision is a self-control repetition. Small choices daily, compounding into the master skill automatically. 4. Self-control is freedom. The chains of impulse are the only ones holding you. Break them through daily disciplined choice. Epictetus had no external freedom. He had complete internal freedom. Your external freedom is already yours. Claim the internal freedom that self-control provides. This is Stoic athlete. Train your body. Master your mind. Master yourself. Subscribe for a new video every week. Epictetus is waiting.